Ever heard the one about the pygmy goat that moonwalked its way to Mars? Yeah, we haven't either, but wouldn't that be a sight to see? Welcome, fellow curious minds, to our exploration into the world of pygmy goats. These miniature mammals are often the subject of some wild and wacky myths, some as outrageous as our moonwalking goat. From tales of extraterrestrial origins to claims of having an appetite for just about anything, pygmy goats have been misunderstood and misrepresented in numerous ways. But what's the real story? Are these petite, horned creatures really the misunderstood mammals they're made out to be? Or are they simply the victims of some good old-fashioned tall tales? In this journey, we'll uncover the truth behind the myths, armed with facts, science, and a healthy dose of humor. So buckle up, because we're about to debunk some of the most hilarious myths about these tiny horned creatures. First up, some people genuinely believe pygmy goats are earthbound aliens. Sounds crazy, right? Brace yourselves, because we're about to dive into this outlandish urban myth that paints our hoofed buddies as interstellar escapees. Picture this: a spaceship full of pygmy goats hurtling through the cosmos on a one-way mission to graze peacefully on our earthly pastures. It's a whimsical tale, sure, but it's as far from the truth as the goats are from their supposed extraterrestrial origins. Now, why would anyone think these adorable pint-sized creatures are from another planet? Perhaps it's their captivating eyes with horizontal pupils that give them a panoramic view of their surroundings. Or maybe it's their uncanny ability to navigate rocky terrain with ease. These unique traits could make anyone pause and wonder whether they're dealing with a goat or an alien. But let's set the record straight. Pygmy goats, despite their otherworldly charm, are not extraterrestrial. They didn't hitch a ride on a spaceship, nor did they teleport from a far-flung galaxy. The truth is, they're originally from West Africa. That's right, our little friends are as earthly as they come. They were first domesticated around 7,000 years ago and have been a part of human society ever since. Their small size made them ideal for nomadic cultures, and their ability to adapt to different environments led to their spread across the globe. Today, they're loved and adored in many parts of the world for their playful nature and endearing personalities. So next time you see a pygmy goat leaping joyfully or munching merrily on a patch of grass, remember, they're not plotting an alien invasion. They're just doing what goats do best, living their best life and bringing a smile to our faces. So, no folks, pygmy goats aren't from Mars, they're just African natives with a serious sense of style. They're proof that sometimes the truth is just as interesting, if not more, than fiction. And that's the real magic of pygmy goats. Next up, the myth that pygmy goats can't swim. Some people think they'd sink like a stone. It's a common misconception that these pint-sized creatures are as good as anchors when it comes to taking a dip. Picture this: you're at a farm, and you see a pygmy goat standing by a pond. You might be tempted to rush over and shoo it away from the water, fearing it will take a plunge and go under for good. This image, as entertaining as it might be, couldn't be further from the truth. Pygmy goats, despite their small stature and seemingly unsuitable physique for swimming, are actually quite capable in the water. Their bodies, while small and stout, are surprisingly buoyant. This is thanks to their thick, dense fur and their strong, agile legs that effortlessly power them through the water. It's not just about survival, though. Pygmy goats have been known to enjoy a good splash from time to time. Some have been observed playfully frolicking in water, be it a pond or a shallow kiddie pool. So, not only can these little fellas swim, but they also seem to find it a source of entertainment. Of course, this doesn't mean you should throw your pygmy goat into the deep end of a swimming pool and hope for the best. Like all animals, they need to be introduced to water gradually and under supervision, especially if they're young or inexperienced swimmers. A gentle introduction allows them to build confidence and skill in a safe and controlled environment. In conclusion, the myth that pygmy goats can't swim is just that, a myth. These little creatures are full of surprises, and their swimming abilities are just one of the many ways they defy our expectations. So, the next time you see a pygmy goat by a pool, don't worry, it's not about to meet a watery end. Quite the contrary, it might just be gearing up for a fun-filled splash session. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. It's bound to be a sight to behold. Moving on to myth number 3. Pygmy goats eat everything from your laundry to your homework. It's a common belief that these little rascals will gobble down anything that fits in their mouths. But hold on a minute, before you start worrying about your favorite pair of socks or that library book you just can't seem to find, let's delve deeper into this myth. Pygmy goats, indeed, have a reputation as voracious eaters. Their curious nature and the fact that they explore their surroundings with their mouths have probably contributed to this misconception. But here's the twist. They don't actually eat everything they come across. Yes, you heard it right. These adorable creatures are not the indiscriminate munching machines they're often portrayed as. So what's with their notorious nibbling habits? Well, pygmy goats are ruminants. This means they have a unique digestive system that allows them to extract nutrients from plants that many other animals can't. They love grazing on grass, leaves, and twigs, and they are particularly fond of shrubs, weeds, and the occasional fruit or vegetable. But here's the thing. While they might chew on a variety of items to explore their environment, they don't ingest everything they nibble on. That's right. They might taste test your laundry hanging on the line or even give your paperwork a curious chew, but they usually spit out non-food items, so while they might be guilty of a bit of harmless chewing, they're certainly not swallowing your belongings whole, and as for the notion that they can devour a tin can, that's another tall tale. In reality, they might lick or nibble on a can to get to the glue or labels, which can have a sweet taste, but they certainly won't eat the can itself. So, in conclusion, while pygmy goats are curious and may explore their world with their mouths, they're not the indiscriminate eaters of legend. They're selective grazers who prefer a diet of vegetation. That homework you can't find? You might want to check under your bed one more time. So no, you can't blame your missing homework on a pygmy goat, as convenient as that might be. So we've busted some myths about pygmy goats, but what's the verdict on these pint-sized creatures? Let's take a moment to reflect on what we've learned together. We started our journey with a rather outlandish claim that pygmy goats are escaped aliens. Yes, their small stature and quirky mannerisms may be out of the ordinary, but we've established that they are, in fact, very much from our planet Earth. Originating from the West African countries of Cameroon and Gabon, these little goats have adapted to various climates and environments across the globe, making them a versatile and resilient species. Then we moved on to the notion that pygmy goats can't swim. Once again, we found this to be far from the truth. Despite their compact size and seemingly ungainly proportions, these agile creatures are more than capable of paddling their way through water when necessary. The myth probably stems from the fact that pygmy goats, like many other animals, prefer to stay dry and warm. But when push comes to shove, they can certainly hold their own in the water. Our third myth suggested that pygmy goats eat everything. This misconception likely arose from their curious and exploratory nature. While they are known to nibble and taste various objects in their environment, it's more about exploration than consumption. Pygmy goats are herbivores and their diet primarily consists of greens like hay, grains, and vegetables. They do enjoy a varied diet, but they are far from the indiscriminate eaters that folklore would have us believe. So, where does this leave us? Well, it's clear that pygmy goats are neither extraterrestrial beings nor inept swimmers, and they certainly aren't the all-consuming creatures of myth. Instead, they are fascinating, adaptable, and intelligent animals, full of personality and charm. They're small but mighty, curious but discerning, and while they might not be from another planet, they certainly have a way of transporting us to a world of joy and laughter with their antics. In the end, these myths serve as a reminder of how easy it is to misunderstand creatures that are different from us. They underscore the importance of seeking knowledge and understanding, of looking beyond the surface and questioning what we think we know. The next time you see a pygmy goat, remember they're just as misunderstood as they are adorable. And who knows, maybe they're off to master the moonwalk next. So let's continue to appreciate these endearing creatures for what they truly are, and not what folklore and myths have painted them to be.